Morning guys, we're off and away. It's a beautiful morning here in the Wakhan Valley. Yesterday when I went a little walk through the, sort of heading off over that way, I lied. I didn't lie, I just didn't know. I had a look at the map last night. I thought the Afghan border, the lower edge of it sits in the river, which it does, but I thought it went up that valley, because that's the Wakhan Valley follows up there. But what it actually does, we carry on following the Afghanistan border, because the Afghan border isn't on that side of this hill, it is on this side of the hill. So we're still very close to Afghanistan, runs through here on this other smaller river that runs into I think the Pisa River, the Panj River. So anyway, when I was wandering from, where was I? Heading out through here, thinking that the Afghan border was a fair way away on the other river. It wasn't actually. I had potentially crossed into Afghanistan because that came across and then comes this way, so if that makes sense. So the border was a lot closer than I thought it was. I would have thought somebody would have come and stopped me, but I guess there would have been a lot of eyes on me. People would have seen me. Although I was in my green. Maybe I was like just super camouflaged, and they had no idea that I've just wandered into Afghanistan. I don't know, the interesting thing was I saw people further away from me, and they would have 100% been in Afghanistan, so they're Afghanis. I thought they were Tajik because I thought they were on this side of it. So, and scarily, they were all dressed in black. So, never a good sign around these parts of the world. So that was, anyway, it's pretty good because I was going to go for, if I had a bit more time with light in the day, I was probably going to carry on to get to the Afghan border. I would have well and truly been in it. So anyway, that was a bit of fun and games. So we'll keep carrying on. The Afghan border comes really close here. So what the Afghanistan, the panhandle of Afghanistan widens out at this point. So the top edge of the Afghan border sort of runs along the top of the mountains, the bottom edge of it and the river, so that's Afghanistan. And then here it carries on up that valley, but it also comes around this way, so it sort of widens out. So Afghanistan sort of comes through and they get a bigger bit of land for them to, I don't know, do whatever they want to do with. So this is Afghanistan, this mountain now. See down here where the border of Afghanistan becomes this really deep gorge, just cuts through. Oh yeah, so this is the border here. But look at Afghanistan. I guess it's what a lot of people think of Afghanistan, as these kind of just bare rock mountains. And geez, look at it, there's like a little bit of growth going in here, but otherwise it just looks like it should be on Mars or something. Over here on the Tajik side, they're all doing cropping and farming, and some old ruins of some old houses down here. But that looks really cool. These rocks are just look like they're burnt black, and they're shiny, and the water, it's a pretty dramatic little part of the world. Well, still running along the Afghan border. There's the mountains of the Karakoram / Hindu Kush. This is the border to Afghanistan, and this deep gorge that runs the whole way. But I was quite surprised as I was coming along, And I can see just here, or is it about here? There's like a small settlement. It's about 5 houses maybe, like mud brick homes, halfway up this hillside. What a desolate part of the world to live. Like there's no, I'm guessing there's no track that I can see to it. There might be a bit of a donkey track or something here, but just perched there under a mountain, like just the, I'm always surprised at where people live and how, you know, how they eke out a living up here. I mean, I guess it's maybe in this gorge that comes through they can get a fresh water supply if they go down into it to collect buckets of water or something. There's clearly no electricity or anything, but just you know, it just surprises me. No wonder people like that are living there have probably always lived there, you know, like they wouldn't know anything else than that as an abode. You wonder what they would think if you were to pick them up and then put them in like in a well-developed city. I don't know, put them in New York or London or something like that, and like put them in a penthouse suite for a week. You just probably blow their minds that you had running water, like, let alone having like all the luxuries that they wouldn't even, things that like many of us from the developed countries just take for granted, they wouldn't have even conceived of. Like, it's just, anyway, gets you thinking, doesn't it? I was trying to think of things that would probably blow their mind, and I saw one of them is something that we recently got, or last year, in our house back in Australia. A robot for, like, you know, one of those old robot things, just maps your house and zooms around all day while you're at work or whatever, cleaning your house. Can you imagine if you just plonked them in your house for a bit? We've named our robot Richard. All of a sudden Richard is just out doing he's programmed. I can set him to do it now from bloody the border of Afghanistan if I want. Wake the wife up with Richard doing the house cleaning for us. You can get lawnmowers that do the same, stuff like that. Like, you know, these fully automated house things that, what do you mean? What do you mean you got this little robot that whizzes around doing stuff for you? I've just popped out of the car for a little quick stretch of my legs, and pretty much, well, yeah, this river here is essentially Afghanistan. There's a little little mud hut here, which you'll see them every couple of k's. A little hut. I don't know if they're primarily for shepherds or not. I haven't seen anybody around here. That's sort of pretty remote, desolate part of Afghanistan. Yeah, but there's just down here it narrows in. It's a little bit wider here, but over here it's not more than 5 meters across, and it's not that deep. So yeah, this is about as close as most people will get to Afghanistan, I guess. I haven't seen any military here either, so I don't know what the go is with that, considering that this is about, well, the closest point that anyone can really, I mean, we've been close to the border of Afghanistan for the last couple of 100 k's, but all along here we've been driving for don't know, an hour or so, or 2 hours, and I haven't seen any military, which was very different to down in the Wakhan corridor. There's military everywhere. So what's with that? Maybe they just assume it's too harsh for anybody to nobody could be fucked getting across this. Okay, we've been heading north from the Wakhan Valley to get to the Pamir Highway. So the Pamir Highway's running along here, and you can see it running the whole way. Where is it? Yeah, through here. There's like a little house on the prairie sitting down here, but that's heading off to Murgab. And then to the Kyrgyzstan border, but Kyrgyzstan border is closed. I'm very tempted, I'm torn at this point whether or not I should, now that I'm on the Pamir Highway and it's no longer dirt or whatever, it looks like a pretty good road, that could head to Murgab, which is kind of like a high Tibetan plateau kind of set up in the Pamir mountains. You can see the Pamirs, some beautiful colours in here, but unfortunately by myself it becomes a very, very expensive exercise to head off that way because that's going to add on maybe another 1 or 2 days. And the way that they charge for this is 70 cents per kilometre, and you've got to pay your own accommodation and the driver's accommodation on top of that. Pretty quickly, like I'm already forking out about 500 US for myself. It's frustrating. It's good because there's no tourists, but it's bad because there's no tourists because you can't share the cost with anyone. So for me to head off to Murgab, by the time I got back to Kurog, I'd be looking at about $1,000 US, which $1,000 US is more than I spent in an entire month in Pakistan. So I don't have to budget for that. So I'll come back maybe another time when the Kyrgyzstan border is open. You can actually get somewhere, because I can head the whole way that way, then I have to come back again. There's no way crossing through these mountains anywhere. So that is that. All right. So anyway, let's have a little. Let's put our feet on the Pamir Highway. Hey, there's a old mate. Here we are, Pamir Highway. Happy days. So let's carry on. This is very, very reminiscent of anyone that's been to Bolivia, done the Tepiza or Uyuni salt flat tour. Then this is, you could have dropped me in Bolivia and I wouldn't know the difference. It's exactly the same here.